There's something fascinating about the way the British monarchy works. Quiet, precise, and almost instantaneous when it comes to change. Most people imagine grand ceremonies, long transitions, and carefully staged announcements. But the reality is very different. In fact, one of the most powerful aspects of the monarchy is how quickly everything shifts in a single moment. And at the center of that shift is a question many people don't often think about. What happens to those standing beside the throne when the throne itself changes hands? Right now, Queen Camilla holds a unique position. As the wife of King Charles III, her role is defined by partnership. She is known as Queen Consort, a title that reflects her support of the reigning monarch rather than independent authority. It's a role rooted in tradition, but also shaped by modern expectations. But here's where things become truly interesting. In the British monarchy, there is no pause between reigns, no waiting period, no moment of uncertainty. The very instant a monarch passes, the next in line assumes the throne automatically. It's a system designed to ensure absolute continuity, so the institution itself never stands still. That means the moment one era ends, another begins. And with that, everything changes, not just for the new monarch, but for everyone connected to the crown. When the crown passes to Prince William, who would then become king, the spotlight naturally shifts. A new chapter opens, bringing with it new priorities, new public expectations, and a slightly different vision for the future of the monarchy. But what about those who were central to the previous reign? For Queen Camilla, the transition would be significant, but not in the way many might assume. She wouldn't simply disappear from public life, nor would she lose her royal identity. Instead, her role would evolve into something quieter, more reflective, yet still meaningful. Traditionally, a queen in her position would become what is known as a Dowager Queen, a term that simply refers to the widow of a king. While the phrase might sound formal or even unfamiliar today, it carries a long history within royal tradition. It represents continuity, respect, and a connection to the past, even as the monarchy moves forward. However, titles are only part of the story. The real question is about presence. In a modern monarchy that continues to adapt to changing times, roles are no longer defined solely by tradition. They are shaped by practicality, public interest, and the direction set by the reigning monarch. Under a future King William, many expect the royal family to continue focusing on a smaller, more streamlined group of working members. This means that while Queen Camilla would likely remain involved in certain areas, particularly charities and causes she has long supported, her public role could become more selective. Less frequent appearances, more focused engagements, a quieter, yet still respected presence. It's not a withdrawal, it's a transition. And history offers some insight here. When Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, stepped into her role after the passing of King George VI, she remained a highly visible and beloved figure for decades. Her position was unique, however, as she was the mother of the reigning monarch, which gave her a distinct place within both the family and the public imagination. Queen Camilla's situation is slightly different. Her role has always been built on partnership rather than lineage. That distinction may shape how her future position is viewed. Less symbolic, perhaps, but still significant in its own way. Another aspect people often wonder about is lifestyle. Where would she live? What level of security would she have? How would her day-to-day life change? While there are no fixed rules, tradition suggests that a Dowager Queen typically retains a royal residence and continues to receive appropriate support. However, everything would likely be adjusted to reflect her new role, still comfortable, still secure, but less central to the operational side of royal duties. And then there's the question that occasionally arises in public discussions. Could she remarry? Technically, there is no strict legal barrier. But in practical terms, such a scenario would be highly unlikely. Royal life operates within a framework of expectations and traditions that make such decisions far more complex than they might appear. So, while it's an interesting thought, it remains more theoretical than realistic. Ultimately, what makes this entire conversation so compelling is not just the titles or the procedures, it's the human element behind them. The monarchy may function with precision, but it is still made up of individuals navigating change, responsibility, and public life under extraordinary circumstances. For Queen Camilla, any future transition would represent both an ending and a continuation. An ending of one chapter defined by partnership with a reigning king, and a continuation of a life still connected to service, tradition, and public engagement. And for the monarchy itself, it would be another example of its defining characteristic, its ability to evolve while maintaining continuity. Because in the end, that's what the institution has always done. It moves forward, quietly, instantly, and without pause, carrying its history with it, while adapting to the expectations of a new generation. And perhaps that's the most remarkable part of all. Not just who wears the crown, but how everything around it transforms the moment it changes hands.